Okay, first off, this and this are technically not Polaroids. They're Fujifilm Instax cameras. The term Polaroid refers to these, the original brand of instant film cameras. Now, that being said, just about everyone, including myself, calls them Polaroids because, well, that's essentially what they are. I mean, they are a huge part of repopularizing instant film cameras, such as Polaroid. Now, with that out of the way, this is the Fujifilm Instax Mini 90 Neo Classic, or just the Neo Classic, or the Mini 90, it doesn't really matter. More importantly, this is part of the Mini line of cameras, just meaning the photos are the normal credit card size as opposed to Fuji's square and wide formats. This one's also currently the most expensive of the mini cameras at around $100. The other mini cameras can be found for almost half that. I'll get into more detail about it later, but essentially what you're paying for is the extra style as well as a few added settings, but essentially it's just the hipster edition of the hipster camera. Before you can use the camera for anything, you gotta load some film. You can usually find a double pack of 20 photos for about $15 to $20. I've seen the price can fluctuate depending on where you buy it. It's honestly not the cheapest stuff, especially when you first get your camera and want to shoot everything, but after you calm down a bit and if you're a bit more picky with your photos, it can last a decent while. Once you load the film and battery in, you're ready to go. At its base, using the camera is about as easy as it gets. You literally just point and shoot. The power switch turns it on and extends the lens. The viewfinder is tiny and awkward, but gets the job done, and the camera actually has two shutter buttons to take a picture, one on top to take a horizontal photo and one on the front for more comfort with vertical photos, which is nice. Also, it's almost kind of funny, but the front button also acts as a selfie mirror for when you want to do that. It's actually a pretty smart idea. But yeah, the real fun comes when you actually take a photo. The flash fires off, blinding anyone in the picture, and the little motor starts to whir as the film slides out of the camera. The suspense of waiting to see how your photo came out is pretty fun, to be honest. You just sit there and watch it develop, praying that it came out alright and you didn't waste the film. Also, okay, a common misconception about Instax film is everyone just feels the burning need to shake it as it develops. Old school Polaroid film is different than the newer Instax film, and shaking this too hard can actually possibly damage the photo. The instructions with the camera even say not to do it, right next to not eating the photo, so just calm down, let it chill for a sec, and get a snack if you're that hungry. So yeah, simple enough, that's how you take a picture. But since you have the top of the line Neo Classic, you actually have a couple extra options to check out. If you flip the camera over, you'll find some buttons and a screen. It's kind of a lot to go through, but basically it boils down to some settings for close-up shots, brightening or darkening photos, a self-timer, locking flash on or off, and a couple extra things like a double exposure mode, which lets you take two photos and merge them into one film. If you want to know more about them, I will have a second video where I give a full tutorial on how to use the camera and all the settings, but it should be pretty easy to figure out. Also, if you ever start messing with the settings and get a little confused, you can always just reset everything back to normal by turning it off. So yeah, there's some pretty interesting features that help differentiate this camera from the more basic models. They really just give you a bit more control over your photo if you want that. But realistically, what catches everyone's initial interest about this model is admittedly the look. The standard Instax Minis, though great in their own right, are just such bizarre looking cameras. They just look like brightly colored melted plastic. In comparison, the Neo Classic goes for a retro film camera look. It's pretty nice and the black and silver go well together, though it also comes in a brown as well. The camera just has a bit more class to it over the toy-like Mini 7, 8, or 9. It's a cooler square shape with plastic on the top and bottom sandwiching the black rubber, which has a decent grip to it. Holding it vertically is easy enough, but holding it horizontally is kind of odd since there's no room for your hand on the right side, meaning you have to use your left hand to hold up the other side as well. Not a huge deal though. There's also a tripod mount on the side, but not the bottom. Though the camera looks good, my only complaint is it's definitely plasticky, though this is honestly just my own personal thing. Actually owning old metal film cameras and new high-end digital cameras makes this one feel pretty cheap in comparison, despite it trying to mimic the retro style, and the fake unpressable buttons on the back are not helping. But like honestly, it's totally understandable why it's like this. It's a $100 camera and most people won't care. Like, it's honestly not a big deal or anything, but I still wanted to point it out. Included in the box is also a leatherette strap to further match the style. It's adjustable and a good length for wearing around the neck or over the shoulder. Also, there's a rechargeable battery and charger included as well. And this battery lasts forever. I always end up losing the charger just because I have to use it so rarely. Now, for what's probably most important to some people is the actual picture quality. And as far as I've read, all the Instax mini cameras seem to have the same lens, except as I mentioned earlier, this one can focus closer or farther away if needed. And you can also adjust how bright or dark the photos come out again if needed. So there's more flexibility with this camera, but quality-wise, photos will come out about the same for each model, and they look pretty good. Like, you aren't going to get super sharp detail or authentic colors, but what you do get is a very authentic looking vintage wash. It's honestly a really fun look. They're colorful and soft. They make everything in the picture seem so small and almost dreamy. Like, it doesn't really feel like a photograph capturing a moment, but rather one that captures a memory, if that makes sense. They don't look real, but it feels more nostalgic and old to look at. And it's nice to have a physical print of it too. And that's undoubtedly the main selling point of Instax cameras over any other digital one. I bought mine senior year of high school, which was a pretty big time for changes in my life. I took a lot of photos on my phone, of course, but I haven't looked twice at any of them since upgrading and having them backed away on my computer somewhere. But these Polaroids have traveled with me all 3 times I've moved, and my favorites are hung up in my room, and my mom has a couple on the fridge back home. They often go unnoticed. I don't just stare at them every day, but every now and then one will catch my glance, and it's fun to look back at when it was taken. Whether it's me in high school, or my roommate and I when we moved into our first apartment, or even just random photos of my car, the little photos are just physical pieces of these small memories. Because only one copy will ever exist with each shot, you don't really take a Polaroid with the same intention of showing a picture off online. Though I understand many people still will, but you usually take the picture for yourself because you wanted it. It's your own personal photo to hold. It's funny, in a time where phone cameras are getting so good and sharing photos online is such a big part of people's lives, that a camera like this is so popular, but I guess that just says a lot about the value of physical photos. Yeah, you can print your phone photos, but Instax and Polaroids are just so much easier. Plus they have that nostalgic look to it. It's imperfect, but it feels more real in its own way. Maybe it's just a hipster fad right now that'll soon die out, but if so, I feel it'll only make another comeback later on. The Instax Mini 90 is a fun camera to use, and though the film is a little expensive for the size and quality you're getting, it'd be hard to regret the photos years down the road. I mean, I wish I took more. I'd give the cheaper Instax Mini 9 a look first. I think for most people that's probably all you really need, but if you have the extra cash and the extra style and settings are important to you, then the Neoclassic Mini 90 is a better camera. Just make sure you have leftover money for film, because in the end, the photos are more important. But yeah, if you need more help using this camera, look out for the tutorial coming soon, and thanks for watching.